It's my birthday, so I could do whatever I want today. How can we all make more money in this agency? The past, I always, on my birthdays, I was like, man, why am I not at the level I want to be at? And I would always get frustrated because I felt like I was always behind. So our agency last year, we did $2.5 million. I'm very proud of that. But the goal is for me to get to... All right, welcome to, what do we call this? My B-Day meeting today. When I started thinking like, oh, what do I want to do? I said, okay, well, I want to get up at 5 and get here and work with you guys. And this is kind of actually something that I enjoy doing now, which is kind of weird because at first it was like once a month, but I feel like it helps, and I enjoy actually trying to think of ways to motivate you guys because again, my job is to help you guys make more money, and this is kind of an efficient way to do it because it is kind of hard for me to talk to each one of you guys one-on-one now, especially now. So I want to, talk to you guys and try to see if I can motivate you guys to make more money. Maybe it's a time for me also as a birthday to kind of reflect on how much I've come and kind of also to plan on what's next for my life too. I've always been like that on birthdays. I like to work and be with you guys. So I really appreciate you guys for being here today. And let's get into the subject today, okay? So today meeting, we're going to talk about my family's history, share with you guys a little bit about that. Again, I could do whatever I want, right, today? Mm-hmm. And then our agency's future. So the family's history, I kind of want to go over that. I just thought, well, maybe if you guys kind of understand my family's history, then maybe you guys can understand where we want to go as an agency too. Okay, so to know where you're going, sometimes you kind of have to go back to the past. So let's see, March 10th, 1980 in LA.
Oh my God. I remember this picture too. Dang. Your dad was really handsome.
Nice cheekbones.
Uh-huh.
You all got mom too?
I got my mom's cheeks, huh? My mom, yeah, she's, the nicest person in the whole world. She's very sweet. She's very caring. She's unbelievably loving. Just someone that unconditionally loves me. I feel very blessed to have her. She actually came to the States and then met my dad here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so just a few years before. And then they had me, and I'm the oldest son. So she's actually the oldest out of 5 siblings. And she came from a big city, the second biggest city in Japan, Osaka, which is a big city, and immigrated here, met my dad. With my mom, she's more the caring type, Her mom was a painter, and we'll talk about her dad, which, my grandpa and my grandma. My grandma was a painter, so she was more on the creative side, and my grandpa was a very successful business person, and she's the oldest out of 5. She loves to play piano. And then my dad, he's an entrepreneur. He's very creative, and he's very hardworking. Right now has 50 employees in Japan. He has 5 stores. He had more, but it's less now after COVID. So he started selling Levi's jeans. He used to go to thrift shops and used to buy these Levi's jeans for pennies because people were just throwing them away. And then he'll go to Japan and say, these are vintage jeans, and sell it for hundreds.
That's smart.
So that's kind of how he started his entrepreneur journey. And then he started opening up his own stores and then having his own brand. And then now I'm sure you guys have seen the bags. Some of you guys have the bags, mm-hmm. Yeah. But he went to Mexico and found some handmade bags in Oaxaca, and then he sells them in Japan, and that's what he's done. He's always been very entrepreneurial, very creative, and taught me a lot about, just being hard work. He's actually from another part of Japan, the northern island, which is more like countryside. It's extremely cold. Kitajima Kita means north, and Jima means island. So, which is where he's from, the northern island. I've been there. It's just, it's very much a farm, basically a farm. So they come from very different backgrounds. And my dad is actually the youngest out of 6. All 5 younger sisters, older sisters. Yeah, he loves to travel, yeah. My mom, not so much. So it's kind of funny how they're opposites in many ways. But one thing they do share is that, they really took care of me when I was young. Very happy kid, very blessed. Yeah, well, I just started going to the gym 5 years ago.
Let me bite those cheeks.
I have a lot more pictures, but I just wanted to just share some of you guys. Here I am.
Oh, you did look like Derek right there.
You do look like that, for sure.
My Dodger hat
And,
already.
and that beach one, kind of a little bit like Kyle, too.
Oh,
A
yeah?
little bit.
So yeah, very blessed, very lucky. This is my grandpa here. This is from my mom's side. He was a very successful business person. He actually founded a college, and he was very well off. But the thing about him is that he's an immigrant too. He's actually Korean Japanese. A lot of times, people from Korea immigrated to Japan for better opportunity for education. Kind of how, people immigrate. So, being an immigrant and being a business owner in a different country and being successful is something that our family is always proud of. But unfortunately, he passed away in his 40s because just bad health and overworking and just too much stress from the business. I think he took a lot of risks, and even though it worked out successfully, but it was just too much to handle, according to my mom. And her childhood memories of him was just a lot of stress. He was always in stress because he was so focused on growing his business. But unfortunately, I just don't have any memories besides, some of these. Well, as you could tell, it's a really fancy place, and I got all dressed up to meet him, but very successful as far as financially. So I just remember at that age right there, I was like,
What should I eat?
I was like, so they've done everything for me. I want to pay, I want to start helping them back, at a very young age. So I got to work. So yeah, according to my mom, I was just someone that really just liked to mimic her, and she's working around the house. I started wanting to help her out so she said that I was really good at vacuuming right away, and I was always doing that. Both of them were really into music. My mom was a piano, and he's just really into music and art. My mom's too, because my mom loves piano. So yeah, that's kind of my background. And one of the things I do want to share with you guys about that is that I do feel like my parents gave me the confidence to believe in myself, and I think that is the best gift I ever gotten. Everything comes from self-belief, and they always gave me that. Like, you can do great things. And if you guys are parents there, I think that's a great message to share. Not even as to your kid, but even to each other. That's kind of what I try to do to you guys, is to always believe in yourself. As parents, what we could do is, when you really love your kid, then they have such a strong sense of security. And I think a lot of times insecurities is what leads to ego. And you get defensive and you don't want to mess up because you already don't like yourself. But if you have confidence in yourself and you do love yourself, then you're able to take risks, because if you mess up, like I was probably doing here, you could just laugh at yourself and be like, hey, I still love myself even though I'm making mistakes all the time. I have kind of a security blanket there, because even if I totally mess up, my parents will be there, they'll still love me. And same thing financially too, I could take risks. If I mess up, then my parents will support me, even though I didn't want to, and thankfully that has never happened. But that's the best gift I ever gotten. Okay, so I just want to share with you guys that I'm very lucky, and if you guys have kids, definitely make them believe in themselves. Some of you guys have great parents. Maybe some, I just don't know everybody's situation. But even if you didn't, it still could come from within, and loving yourself is really what makes you be able to believe in what you do. So that's just what I want to share with you guys, that I've been fortunate, and because of my history, this is where I am today, and I want to talk to you guys about what is next for our agency. Let's talk about our agency's future. Okay, so now that you guys understand where I came from, maybe you guys can understand why I have such a strong belief system and what we could do moving forward. And I really believe in it, okay? So I just want to get to our next level, and I'm ready. Okay, again, it's my birthday. Sometimes your birthday. In the past, I always, on my birthdays, I was like, man, why am I not at the level I want to be at? And I would always get frustrated because I felt like I was always behind because maybe I seen my grandpa and my dad do, reach successful levels. But I kind of got over that. I'm more patient now. I feel like a lot of times, it takes a lot of time for you to build something, and momentum really starts paying off later on in your life based on what you're doing when you're younger. So I'm not in a rush anymore, but I still feel like there's so much more I could be doing. And I also feel like once you get to a certain age, you start feeling like, okay, the time is eventually going to run out. And I don't ever want to feel like, as well as we're doing, like this is the peak. Like that's kind of a scary thought for me because eventually every business or every person kind of goes through a peak, and then and that's the highest level they got to. And I just kind of like that fear also drives me too. But I'm also excited because I know we could do so much more. So our agency last year we did $2.5 million. That's how much we made last year. I'm very proud of that. Just 3 years before that, we barely did $1 million. Okay, so we've grown a lot in the last 3 years. So 2.5 million, that's still a big number. I remember just growing up, I was just like, I just want $1 million business. Like that would be amazing. So being able to do that in 2019 was great, and to be able to double that. But the goal is for me to get to 10 million. So to do that, first we had to move to this office, which is double the space. So here I think we could get up to 5 million. And then it's going to require another move 7 years later to get to 10 million. But hey, I'm going to be working for a long time, so why not? So those are the goals that I have, and I just want to share with you guys how we're going to be able to do that. So there's a lot of different ways. You guys think like, man, that's a lot has to happen to hit those type of targets, and that's really thinking big. But it's because I believe my background helps me believe in myself, in ourselves. But what are 2 ways you guys think? Because I want to really make it as simple as possible for us. We're going to get more into a real business meeting here, but 2 ways how we could increase the revenue of our agency, which means how can we all make more money in this agency?
More agents.
More agents. Okay, what do we need more agents?
Policies.
Yeah. Number 1 is to sell more policies. Thank you, Lupe. Well, let's get up for Lupe, by the way. Have you guys met Lupe?
Sorry for business today. I'm so bad.
It's all right. It can only get better from here. So we need to sell more policies is step number 1. Okay, that's pretty simple. It makes sense, right? The more policies you sell, the more we're going to make more money. Now, the second one is kind of a new concept and might require another meeting where we go into a little bit deeper, but just big picture wise, what do you guys think number 2 is? What I call it here is increase our LTV of our customers. Do you guys know what LTV means? LTV is a business term, means lifetime value. Okay, so if we increase our lifetime value via retention, then we make more money. Sometimes you guys don't see it that way because it's going into the agency's revenue, but that's the revenue that helps me buy the leads and hire new staff members and think of different comp plans and do a lot of things that I'm able to do. Okay, so increasing the LTV, there's going to be a few ways to do that, which we'll get into, which is one of them is retention. So what about selling more policies? What are things that is required to sell more policies, you guys think?
Training.
Training, okay. Love it. We do need more training because to sell insurance, we need skills. Okay, and that's something that I look at as a big part of the agency's job. Some of us are doing a great job of helping each other, or all of us really is helping each other. We learn from each other. So training is a big part of our agency. What else?
Higher closing ratios.
Higher closing ratio. Okay, great. All right, Lupe. Yeah. So being able to get 10 leads and selling 3 instead of 2. Okay, that makes a huge difference for us. But I just want to share with you guys. Okay, for this category, it is all about you guys. It's all about the people here. So if you guys could sell more policies, that's how we're going to be able to sell more policies. And speaking of people, I kind of want to go over how we're going to design things a little bit as we move forward because, every good business needs leaders. And if you're a small business that gets up to like $1 million worth of business, you could do that with 10 people. And that's been my experience. But for us to get to 2.5, we needed last year like about 15 people. Now, because I want to get to 5 million, that's why we have 20 plus now. But as a good leader is someone that's able to understand their team, kind of understands what motivates them or knows their personal situation, so you could be empathetic to them. And at a certain amount of people, you start not being able to do that. Okay, because me and Laura have been working 10 years together, so I could kind of know what's going on with her, and I could be very understanding with her, what's important to her, what motivates her. But if I hire, sorry, but Lupe, if you're brand new, it's like we're just starting off new, and I am not going to be able to understand everybody the same level when it's 20 people, because like you can't have 20 close friends. You could have like 2, 3 really close friends that you know each other so well, but 20 close friends, it's like that's gonna get very difficult. And this is what happens with businesses. I've been reading a lot of business books, like how to, 7-figure businesses get to 10 million, eight figures, and that's what I'm on right now. So what happens is there's more structure, more different levels in a business. So what's gonna happen is we're gonna have more leaders. Okay, so leadership is a position where I talked about in some other meetings too. But eventually, your supervisor wouldn't be me. Okay, it would be somebody that's working here, most likely someone who knows what they're doing and knows what this agency is all about and has experience here. And they're the ones that are going to be helping you guys stay motivated, and maybe the training and maybe the discipline and believe in yourself. So that's going to be a very exciting position for me, because some of the staff members that are doing really well, we already call them leaders, but they're killing it with sales. But there's going to be another level they could get to besides sales, where if they're helping other people, they're going to be compensated on what their team does too. So obviously, if the agency is doing $5 million and stuff like that, I would fully expect these leaders to be making $250,000 and up. Okay, so that's a position that I'm really happy to take away some of my leadership to them, and for them to do some of the stuff that I do for you guys. Or some of you guys in this room would love to see become leaders too. All right, and then we're going to need more sales agents. To sell more policy, we need to sell more sales agents. So that means, what do you guys think? More studying and more licensing. Yep. Okay. So it's definitely a skill game. It's definitely something that doesn't happen overnight. But sales is a skill. Getting licenses is a commitment. But that's what's going to take for us to grow to the next level. And just with sales, like Laura and Jazz has showed us, that you can make 6 figures just off sales too. So I'd love to see more agents making 6 figures, just doing the sales game, and maybe they want to become leaders next. But for now, we really need a heavy emphasis on just people who could close deals. And these agents are going to be very valuable to us, because business doesn't start until a policy gets sold. Okay, so more sales. Okay. And then what other group of team members do we need?
Customer service.
More customer service reps. Okay. So more customer service reps. Okay, this is kind of where a lot of people start from. But just all I'm looking for is just good people. Okay. Honest, helpful, hardworking, committed, and have a long-term ability to think long-term. Just good people that want to do better for their family. Okay. That's where they start from, and we love to have more of them, because then they could become sales agents in the future. And the sales agents are going to need more help, so we need more customer service, and a very few of these sales agents will become leaders, but it's just kind of the career path that I'm looking at here. Okay, so just would love to have more people join us, and that's how we're going to keep growing our team. So increase the LTV of our clients' lifetime value. So we sell policies, which is great. So every policy we sell, we get a client in our book of business, but how do we now turn that client into more valuable clients for us? That's the trick. Cross-sell. Boom. There you go, Jason. And this is something that I got to be honest with you guys. I think step 1 is something that I've always focused on. Okay. I've always just thought, okay, let's get more leads, and let's just sell more policies. But there's a group of clients that we have here that we could focus more on and monetize better. Okay, so cross-sell is a great one, Jason, because let's say you sell a $1,000 policy. They have a policy with us for a $1,000 auto policy, but then you sell a $1,000 homeowner's policy to them. We basically double their value to us. Well, what if it's life insurance? And we're going to talk a lot about life insurance starting in April, but that's another way for us to increase the lifetime value of our client. The other way to increase our lifetime value is to have them stay longer with us. Okay, because if a client signs up with us and cancels with us in 6 months, or if a client signs up with us and cancels in 6 years, what was the difference in the LTV? A lot, right? So the whole key of this business is to have clients stay with us via great customer service. So having clients stay with us is the second way to do it. And that's why customer service is so important, even though it's an entry-level position, it's so important because we just don't want to be in a situation where we're selling policies, but our agency is not growing. Okay? So cross-sell them, and then have them stay longer, and what's the third one?
Referrals.
Referrals. There you go, Lupe. Good job. That's it. Okay. Get referrals from them. Because if someone, we got a policy from this person, and then this person got a referral, and we got a policy, and then this person sent us another referral, what was the lifetime value of that first person? It's almost hard to calculate at that point. And then all three of these things doesn't require me to spend extra money on marketing, which is quite a bit. Okay, if you cross-sell something, it doesn't cost me anything. Not only are we cross-selling them, but usually when they have more than one policy, they're going to stay with us longer. And then anytime we're building our book of business without having to buy leads, it's huge for us. Okay, so if someone sends us a policy, that person refers us somebody, and that person sends us 2 more people, and this person is staying for 6 years, and we sell them a life policy, that lifetime value of that one client is off the charts. And those are the type of clients, and those are the type of business we want to do, because I feel that sometimes when it comes to selling policies, selling a bunch of policies, hiring more people, making more videos, and then just doing a bunch of marketing, spending $40K a month on marketing, I almost think of it as working hard. And I'm not scared of working hard. You guys already know that. But increasing the lifetime value of our current clients, I look at that almost as working smarter. Because we already have them. They're already calling us. Okay, let's cross-sell on something. Let's take care of them. Let's be nice to them. And they'll stay longer and will give us referrals. It's actually a lot easier to grow that book of business than to try to get outside people in all the time. Cold people, like we don't have a relationship. We already know you. Okay, thank you. And that's the way we want to grow our business, okay? And I also want to add how to have them stay longer. I want to add something to that. And also another way I look at things as I want to grow into just huge, different levels that we are right now, is how we're going to do it is we have to be different. Okay, and although these other companies like Freeway and Invit and Adriana, they've done it. Okay, and I have tremendous amount of respect for them for being able to do what they did. But a couple things I want to kind of be a little different from them, and I feel like maybe we'll have advantage, is that their formula was a little bit older, meaning that the way they grew is that they just built a bunch of offices all over the state. 10, 20, 30 locations. That's how they did it. And it's incredible what they did. But the times have changed, and obviously our way is the digital way. And we're able to have one location, keep getting office space, and grow that way. Because at the end of the day, clients, as we get more into digital society, prefer speed and convenience. And although the English-speaking population kind of moves faster in that direction, the Spanish-speaking population is moving that way, towards that way too. So the more faster we make it for them, the easier we make it for them, that's how we win. And then the second part that I want to be different from them, although I have tremendous respect for them, for what they were able to do, I want to have a better reputation than them. Because I want to care about our clients more than they do. And actually, that's not too hard. All right, because that's just maybe, as you guys can see from my background, maybe it's my parents, or the way I was raised, or the way I want to help others. I don't feel like, and then also with the information age, people could get quotes so much easier than before. Back in the days, you couldn't get a quote right away. You go to an office, you speak my own language, I'm going to automatically trust you. But that's getting exposed now a little bit. Okay? So what I want to have is a great reputation, because reputation is everything in business. There's just no way Espady would have been, hey, Victoria, you should work here, if I didn't have a good reputation. Laura wouldn't introduce me to Jazz. And Jazz wouldn't introduce me to her little sister if my reputation was bad. The same thing with business. They're gonna see our ads and be like, "Hey, have you seen this guys?" Like, and someone says like, "Oh yeah, they're all jerks over there. We're not gonna get that business." Or it's like, "Oh yeah, I did call them. Yeah, they couldn't help me, but they were super nice. They answered the phone, they gave me a price, and it seemed like they were honest, good people." Or I did get a policy with them. In fact, you should call them because I'll make $50. Reputation is so important in business because it's just so much easier to get exposed. So I just want us to have. I care about my reputation deeply, and so should you guys. And at the end of the day, I just feel really good about what I do because I just feel like, some people may say like, "Oh, that's so greedy. Like, why are you like, being so greedy?" It's like, well, it's a win for our clients. It's a win for you guys. Like, I'm just genuinely trying to help you guys make more money, and I make more money from that. Then it's like a win-win-win. Like everyone wins. Like, what's so wrong with that? So everyone says like, "Oh, like, that's greed." Like, oh, well, at the end of the day, I feel awesome. I feel like I've helped you guys. You guys are helping our clients feel protected. And if that's the case, then why not just do more of it? I just want you guys to know that, hey, I have tremendous belief in myself and I have tremendous belief in you guys. And, on my 43rd birthday, I feel more and more just excited about the future. And I just feel really not only grateful to be here with you guys, but also very fulfilled to know that you guys are doing a great job and being able to take care of families. And you guys have things to look forward to moving forward at our agency too. All right, thank you guys. This group.